So, Agnieszka,
Yes.
thank you very much. I won't say your last name, Agnieszka T, because it's very hard for me to
It
pronounce.
is Trzeciakiewicz. What's
Yeah,
difficult about
exactly
it?
my point. Yeah. So, Professor, when we came to York, we didn't know what to expect. Only that we'll meet some Yorkshire professors.
Okay.
And we were like, when you entered the classroom, we were like, who is she? Is it our new colleague or from where? What country is she? Something like that.
Okay.
And then you started to speak, to teach, and in about 4.5 minutes, you've just become the darling of the Romanian cohort. We were like, yeah, everybody in Romanian cohort was like, oh, this is a professor. No way. Oh, we love her.
Oh.
So I don't think you realize that you taught us in 3 hours. Not everything about what we need to know about the subject, but we were like, wow, now we know it. Is that so? Thank you very much for this.
My pleasure.
And my first question is, how do you do it?
Okay, so that's a difficult question. How do I do it? So basically, we are trying to introduce a way of thinking about things. As you've seen during the session, I've only provided you with a framework of how should you approach problems. You remember KPM when we discussed it, you know, very scientific finance model. But what it did, it should shape your way of thinking. It should shape your mind. Where do we start when we make decisions? And this is what we are trying to do in finance. We cannot teach you to remember things by heart. We are trying to show you what science informs us with so that you can make better informed decisions in practice.
I heard you about, I heard you saying when King George.
Yes.
Noi avem în cohorta noastră un George, căruia îi spunem King George pentru că el tot timpul are ceva de zis. So, when King George had something to say about a slide that you say, and this was a shock for us Romanians. You know, we had, as you Polish people, had communists, so we're like, professor, for us, they're like, oh, I'm the better, I'm a kind of god, and you said, I think I did something wrong. And we're like, what? A professor saying this?
Okay.
What's that?
So it's about conversations. I'm not knowing everything. I learn as I go, right? So you may be surprised, but from every single class, I learn something myself. Because you guys come from business, and I'm an academic, I'm a researcher, I'm trying to understand the way things work. And when you share with me your experiences, I always consider what you say, because maybe the frameworks that I provide are not good enough for you to implement. So what King George told me, he provided me with hints that made me reevaluate what I teach. And I was thinking, am I explaining it correctly given what he said? And this is a conversation way of learning, you see? When you provide me with some different context that I haven't thought over before, I have to do it live, and I have to see, does my framework respond to his problems? In the end, he was the one that was wrong, not me.
Of course.
But at least we've solved the problem, we've discussed it. I understood what he meant, he understood what my approach was, and we reached a conclusion. So this is completely different way of learning in the UK. So as you said, you come from Romania, I come from Poland. In these environments, we've got professors who are unquestionable, right? What they say is right. In the UK, we don't have that. Academia is to inform your practice, okay? And there is no expectation that lecturer would know everything. Similarly to you, you have a knowledge in different fields that I don't have knowledge of. And we need to find a way to talk to each other and learn from each other with an understanding that nobody is here a Nobel Prize winner who knows answers to all the questions.
What's the main challenge for you as a professor when you have in your classroom people from, I don't know, we are coming from 8 countries, different countries. Azerbaijan has nothing to do with Romania. Armenia has nothing to do with Bulgaria. And how do you see it from the professor perspective?
So the fact that you come from different countries brings a flavor to my teaching, because it's always exciting for me to see various perspectives, various ways of thinking. I've mentioned to you before that I've taught in Singapore, I've taught in Hong Kong. And those kind of cultures were completely different to me. They have completely different working style, but I've learned from them a lot. Similarly to you, you know, I can understand Romanians better because my father was a businessman. He knew business. Polish, I think, are closer to Romanians
Very close, yeah.
than what UK is. So I kind of had an understanding of Romania, but I know nothing about Greek. I know zero about Armenians. But what I did, and this is my admission, I received a list of students before you guys came. So I wanted to read a little bit about what you guys do, what you are into, so that my examples are relevant to your practice. And then once I understood where are you coming from, I could tailor my teaching so that you can make the most out of it. Did you make the most out of it? Did you understand
Yes.
what I was explaining?
We are not sure what we understood,
Okay.
but we
That's
really
not
understood something. We know it's there, but
Okay.
it's like a fireball, you know, something like that.
All right.
It's in the brain, but we have to let it cool.
Okay,
before,
you need to digest it.
Yeah, it
All
was
right.
like after your. We spent a day with Agnieszka, and we went for a beer, just a beer.
And I wasn't
that was it.
invited.
And
I wasn't
then,
invited.
Yeah, because you burn our resources, so
Okay.
we didn't have the strength to
Yes,
invite you to
now
a
you
beer.
explain yourself.
Yeah. So as I told you, everybody was shocked. Not that you are so young.
Okay.
Because a professor should be getting
Okay.
off a horse and something like
Okay.
that. I
I
greet
just-
you all,
I just
mortals,
look after
something like that.
myself.
Yeah, but the way you explain it,
Okay.
hard stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this is hard stuff. Corporate finance, something, hard stuff.
Yeah.
But now we think we understand something.
Okay.
What's the difference between an MBA student
Yes.
and a normal student, a real student, something like that? From
Okay.
your perspective, they challenge you more. They
Absolutely. Okay, so first of all, MBAs are my favorite students. This is the class I enjoy the most. Why? It is because of the example with King George that you have mentioned. You guys have experience in practice, and we as academics, we are scientists. So we take theories and science, and we think that the way scientists inform decision making, this is the way you guys think as business people. So when I teach undergraduate class, I don't have this conversation because these people are fresh from the university, they don't have business experience, so they don't question my logic. They digest it, they may ask critical questions, but they will not say, oh, this is not the way we do it in practice, as you guys say quite often during the sessions. And I don't get this kind of a benefit of learning from you guys. So that's why I learn. I'm a little bit cheeky. I want to learn from you as well, so that I teach better. I solve your problems better. Because remember, science just informs you. It should help you to improve your way of thinking. When you think about investment, now you know that you are looking into the future cash flows. So we do our research. We try to find the best solutions for particular decisions. And I want you to tell me, is it something you can apply? Is it something that is useful to you? And if I don't hear that, I don't know, right? From MBA students, I can learn that easily. From undergraduate students, I can't. So this is completely different way of teaching. With undergraduate students, I can talk to 200 students, and I will not receive 15% of questions I receive from you guys. So it's completely different manner of teaching. It's not a conversation way type of teaching. It's rather me teaching students in a traditional way as opposed to having a conversation. And the reasons are clear, right? These people have no experience. They come directly from the school. They don't know how to do things work in practice. And I take you, the practitioners who did the university a couple of years ago, forgot about the uni.
Everything about to learn there.
And now you are coming with me here with your experience, your problems, and I'm trying to refresh your memory as to how to get your thinking better. So to me, it's really rewarding.
You know, for us as MBA students, we have all kind of metrics to evaluate. I mean, we cannot help evaluating things. It's in our nature to understand their value for us, for our businesses. So as you taught us about cost of capital,
Yeah.
how hard is to determine all kind of formulas, is the same for us. And I guess the best metric we have for a professor, for a module, for a class is the number of aha moments.
Okay.
It's one of our metrics. So you deliver us a lot of aha moments.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's great compliment. Thank you very much.
We are in York.
Yes.
When I came to York, I was focused on MBA, and then I saw the city, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, is this important for an MBA student who comes to York to understand that this is a beautiful city? I mean, from the financial perspective, I don't know.
I mean, you should mix a little bit business with pleasure in life. In life, you need a balance. And, you know, you have a class with Jay at the moment, right?
Yeah.
You had a class with me yesterday. Your week is busy. And in order to have the lifestyle balance, work-life balance, you need to have a great environment to enjoy after you finish your intensive class. And York is a really historical place. I'm not sure if you've learned, but York was actually the capital of Roman Empire on the north, right?
I know this one. I'm a huge fan of Roman
history.
You're
a fan, and me too. So it was the capital of the Roman Empire, and these are Romans that built the walls, that built the infrastructure, and you can feel it in the city. And it's great to be able to explore that. So if we were in the middle of nowhere, where you couldn't go anywhere, you wouldn't be able to grab a nice cup of tea, learn something different that you would do with pleasure, it wouldn't be enjoyable. You wouldn't get this balance. So it is important to be in a place that you can actually enjoy with a group of friends or students after we finish the class.
You're so right, because after your class we were in a pub, very British pub, but underneath there was Roman ruins, and we were talking about NPV.
Oh, it's a combination.
Yeah, it's drinking beer in a British pub with Roman ruins beneath us and talking about NPV. This is very, very nice.
That's lovely.
So I thank you very much, Professor Agnieszka T.
Thank you so much.
For taking time to talk with our Romanian MBAs wannabe, because this is the objective of this project. We inform them about what is an MBA.
Right.
Look, this is how one of the professors looks like. So this is an information about that could help you to choose the MBA program.
Absolutely. I look forward to welcoming you in York. I hope you join my class.